In the heart of southeastern Nigeria, among the lush forests and winding rivers, lives a people whose stories carry the breath of the ancestors. The Igbo, one of Africa's largest ethnic groups, have for centuries preserved a mythology that explains the mystery of the universe, the duties of humans, and the power of the unseen world. This mythology is not merely fantasy, it is the rhythm of daily life, encoded in rituals, proverbs, and sacred practices. It speaks of gods who command thunder, goddesses who nurture the earth, spirits that walk among men, and ancestors who never truly die. Tonight, we journey into the sacred myths of the Igbo people, a journey that begins where the visible and invisible worlds meet. The Igbo see the universe as a balance between the spiritual and the material. At the head of creation is Chukwu, the Great Spirit, the unknowable source of all life. Some say he's too vast to be approached directly, and so he manifests through deities, spirits, and the personal guardians called Chi. Creation stories vary among communities, yet many agree in the beginning there was nothing but sky and water. From Chukwu came the world. Some say he sent down a dove carrying sand in its beak. The dove spread the sand upon the water, and from it dry land emerged. On this earth came Allah, the goddess of all land and morality. She is the womb of fertility, the soil from which yam and cassava spring. Alongside her is Amadioha, the god of thunder and justice, whose lightning strikes down liars and wrongdoers. Together, these forces shaped a moral world where balance must always be maintained. To the Igbo, the world is not a battleground between good and evil, but a marketplace where humans, spirits, and gods interact, each playing their part in the eternal circle of life. Although Chukwu reigns supreme, the Igbo worship through a pantheon of deities known as Alusi. Each has a domain, a power, and a shrine. Allah, goddess of the earth, fertility, and morality. She judges human actions, and every transgression against the land is a sin against her. Amadioha, god of thunder, lightning, and justice. When oaths are sworn, it is in his name. Ekwensu, the trickster, god of negotiation, trade, and war, often misunderstood as evil. He represents cunning and chaos, the force that shakes society into renewal. Igwe, the sky father, controller of rain and weather. Mmanwu, the sun deity, bringer of light and health. Through these deities, the Igbo seek blessings, protections, and justice. Shrines dot the villages, each tended by priests and priestesses who serve as intermediaries between man and spirit. No mythological system is complete without the spirits who walk between the worlds. For the Igbo, each person has a Chi, a personal guardian spirit, a fragment of Chukwu himself. A man's success or failure is often linked to the strength of his Chi. As the saying goes, Onyekwe Chi ya ekwe. If one agrees, his Chi agrees also. Equally important are the ancestors, the Indichie, who remain present in family life long after death. They bless, guide, and sometimes punish. The living honor them with libations of palm wine and kola nuts, ensuring the chain of lineage remains unbroken. To consult the divine, the Igbo turn to the Dibia, the spiritual specialist, healer, diviner. The Dibia interprets signs, speaks with spirits, and prescribes rituals for harmony. Oracles such as the famous Chukwu oracle once guided entire communities, delivering judgments said to be the will of the gods. Myths live most vividly in story. Among the Igbo, folklore teaches children morals, entertains in moonlit compound, and preserves ancestral wisdom. There are tales of the tortoise, clever and greedy, whose trickery often brings him both fortune and downfall. One famous tale tells how tortoise tricked the birds into lending him feathers so he could attend a feast in the sky. But when his greed betrayed him, he was cast down, his shell breaking into pieces, the cracks still seen on tortoises today. There are heroic stories too, of warriors who defied death, of maidens who sacrificed for their people, and of spirits who tested the hearts of men. Each story carries a lesson: humility, justice, respect for elders, and the importance of community. And then there are the darker tales, spirits of the forest who lure wanderers, river goddesses who demand offerings, and masquerades who embody ancestral spirits dancing through villages with masks that blur the line between human and divine. Ritual keeps mythology alive. The kola nut ceremony, with its prayer and blessings, is more than hospitality. It is a link to the ancestors. Festivals like the New Yam festivals honor Allah for fertility and harvest, while masquerades, known as Mmanwu, brings the spirits of the dead among the living in dazzling displays of dance and music. Symbols such as the Ofo staff represent justice and truth, while sacred forests and rivers remain places where humans dare not break taboos, lest the gods retaliate. Though colonialism and Christianity reshaped Igbo spirituality, the mythology endures. Proverbs, masquerades, rituals, and festivals remain living vessels of ancestral wisdom. In Igbo thought, mythology is not a distant legend. It is guardians, a code of ethics, and a way of seeing the world. To know these myths is to know that every tree may house a spirit, every oath may summon thunder, and every life is woven into the great fabric of Chukwu's creation. The Igbo myth reminds us of a simple truth, that man is never alone. He walks with his chi, with his ancestors, and under the watchful gaze of the gods. And so, the stories continue, told by elders, whispered in proverbs, danced in festivals, living on in the hearts of the people.